Please like and subscribe, my favorite viewer. I hope you will be interested in listening to my story. Enjoy your listening experience.
Emma Reeves stared at the red Giaione, glaring back at her from the top of her midterm paper. Professor Daniel Weber had scrawled a note beneath it. "See me during office hours." She slumped in her seat as the other students filed out of the lecture hall. This was the third disappointing grade she'd received in advanced literary theory, and her scholarship required her to maintain a 3.5 GPA. One more bad grade and she'd be on academic probation. Her phone buzzed with a text from her boyfriend, Tyler. "Dinner tonight at 7? Mom's asking if you're coming this weekend too." Emma sighed. Tyler's family had practically adopted her over the past year they'd been dating. They were already talking about their plans after graduation. Tyler had a job lined up at his father's architecture firm, and his mother had not so subtly shown Emma real estate listings in their neighborhood. "Can't tonight," she typed back. "Gotta fix this grade situation. Rain check?" The reply came almost instantly. "No worries. Love you." She hesitated, then wrote, "Love you too." Professor Weber's office was tucked away in the oldest building on campus, a converted Victorian mansion that housed the English department. Emma had always loved the creaky wooden floors and tall windows that let in the afternoon light. Today, though, the walk up the narrow staircase felt like a march to the executioner. She knocked softly on the door. "Come in," called a deep voice. Professor Weber sat behind a desk crowded with books and papers, his reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. At 42, he was younger than most of the tenured faculty, with salt and pepper hair and an intensity that made him both admired and feared among the students. "Ms. Reeves," he said, gesturing to the chair across from him. "Please sit." Emma perched on the edge of the seat, clutching her failed paper. "You wanted to see me, Professor?" He leaned back, studying her with those piercing gray eyes. "Emma, I'm concerned. Your work at the beginning of the semester showed promise, but these last few assignments," he gestured at the paper in her hands, "you're not demonstrating the depth of analysis this course requires." "I know," she said, her voice small. "I'm trying, Buto." "Trying isn't enough at this level," he interrupted. "You're a senior. Graduate schools don't accept students who are trying. Either you understand the material or you don't." Emma felt heat rising to her cheeks. She'd never been spoken to like this by a professor before. She'd always been the good student, the one who earned praise without much effort. "What can I do?" she asked. "I need to pass this class." Professor Weber took off his glasses and pinched the bridge of his nose. "At this point, even if you ace the final, the best you could hope for is a C Giaon." "That's not good enough," Emma blurted. "My scholarship is not my concern," he finished for her. "My job is to evaluate your understanding of literary theory, not to ensure you keep your funding." Emma felt tears threatening to spill. This wasn't happening. She'd never failed at anything academic before. She thought of Tyler, of his parents' expectations, of her own parents who had sacrificed so much to get her here. "There must be something," she said, her voice cracking. "Extra credit, another paper, anything." Professor Weber was silent for a long moment, and something in his expression shifted. It was subtle softening around the eyes, a slight tilt of the head as he appraised her. "There is a graduate symposium next month," he said finally. "I'm presenting a paper on deconstructionism in contemporary fiction. I could use a research assistant to help prepare. It would require significant time outside of class evenings, weekends." Emma nodded eagerly. "I can do that." "It wouldn't be easy work," he warned. "But if you show me you truly understand the material through this project, I might reconsider your grade." "Thank you," she breathed. "When do we start?" "Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, my office." He handed her a stack of articles. "Read these before then." As Emma left the office, clutching the papers to her chest, she felt a mixture of relief and unease. She'd found a way out, but something about the arrangement felt off. She pushed the thought away. She needed this grade, and she'd do what was necessary to get it. "You're working with Professor Weber?" Lily's eyes widened over her coffee cup. Emma's roommate was a fellow English major who had taken Weber's class the previous year. Good luck with that. The man's brilliant but intense. Emma stirred her latte absently. They were sitting in the campus coffee shop, and she'd just told Lily about her new arrangement. It's just research assistance, Emma said. A few weeks of work for a chance to save my grade. Lily raised an eyebrow. Weber doesn't usually take on undergrad assistants. Did he specifically offer to raise your grade? Not exactly, Emma admitted. He said he might reconsider it. Lily took a sip of her coffee. Just be careful. There are rumors about him. Emma frowned. What kind of rumors? Lily lowered her voice. Just that he gets close to certain female students. Nothing's ever been proven, and the university loves him because he brings in grant money. But still. I'm with Tyler, Emma said defensively. Professor Weber knows that. Just saying. Watch yourself. Lily checked her watch. I've got to run to class. Text me later. After Lily left, Emma sat alone, thinking about what her friend had said. Professor Weber had been professional, if a bit harsh. Surely the rumors were just the rumors, born of jealousy or misunderstanding. Her phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. Miss you. Study group running late, but want to come over after? Emma hesitated. She should spend the evening reading the articles Weber had given her. Can't tonight. Working on the Weber project already. Tomorrow? Sure, Tyler replied. But she could sense his disappointment even through text. At precisely 7 the next evening, Emma knocked on Professor Weber's office door. She'd spent the previous night poring over the articles he'd given her, filling the margins with notes. Right on time, he said, opening the door. The office looked different in the evening light. He'd cleared a space on a small side table where 2 cups of tea steamed beside an open laptop. I went through all the readings, Emma said, pulling the articles from her bag. I have some questions about Derrida's approach versus so. Let's save the academic discussion for after dinner, he interrupted. I usually order in when I work late. Thai food acceptable? Emma blinked, thrown off by the casual suggestion. This felt less like a research meeting and more like something else. I, already ate, she lied. No, you haven't, he said with a knowing smile. You came straight from your modernist poetry seminar, which ends at 6:30. Barely enough time to get here, let alone eat. Emma shifted uncomfortably. Had he memorized her schedule? I'm not hungry, she insisted. Professor Weber shrugged. Suit yourself. I'm ordering anyway. You might change your mind when it arrives. He was right. An hour later, the smell of pad thai and green curry filled the small office, and Emma's stomach betrayed her with an audible growl. Told you, Weber said, sliding a container toward her. Eat. Then we'll talk deconstructionism. The food was good, and despite her initial discomfort, Emma found herself relaxing as they discussed the articles. Professor Weber was different here. In the evening quiet of his office solace intimidating, more animated as he talked about his research. You have an interesting perspective, he said after she'd challenged one of his interpretations. Most students just regurgitate what they think I want to hear. I'm not most students, Emma replied, surprised by her own boldness. No, he agreed, his eyes holding hers for a beat too long. You're not. By the time they finished working, it was nearly midnight. Emma gathered her things, her mind buzzing with new ideas and insights. Same time Thursday? Weber asked as she reached the door. Emma hesitated. Thursday was Tyler's birthday. They had plans for dinner with his parents. I can't Thursday, she said. It's so I have a prior commitment. Something flickered across Weber's facio disappointment, maybe even annoyance. This symposium is in 3 weeks, Emma. If you're not serious about this projecto. I am, she said quickly. Friday? I could come Friday instead. He considered this. Friday works. Bring your notes on the Barth's article. We'll incorporate those perspectives. As Emma walked back to her apartment, her phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. You still up? How did it go with Weber? Just finished, she typed back. It was fine. Making progress. Can't wait for Thursday. But as she sent the message, she realized that for the past 5 hours, she hadn't thought about Tyler once. The weeks that followed fell into a pattern. 3 evenings a week, Emma would meet Professor Weber in his office. What began as academic discussions gradually became more personal. He told her about his divorce 2 years earlier, his struggle to balance teaching and research, his frustration with university politics. In turn, Emma found herself sharing things she'd never told anyone, not even Tyler: her parents' messy separation when she was 15, her fear that she wasn't smart enough for graduate school, her uncertainty about the future Tyler had planned for them. "You don't sound like someone in love," Weber observed one night, after she'd mentioned another of Tyler's hints about their post-graduation life together. Emma stared into her tea. "I do love him. He's stable, kind. He has his life figured out." "But," Weber prompted. "But sometimes I feel like I'm just following his script," she admitted. "Like I'm a character in the story he's writing, not the author of my own." Weber leaned forward, close enough that she could smell his cologne, something woody and subtle. "And what story would you write for yourself, Emma?" She looked up, meeting his gaze. "I don't know yet. Something less predictable." The air between them seemed to thicken. For a wild moment, Emma thought he might kiss her. Part of her wanted him to. Instead, he stood abruptly. "It's late. You should go." Outside, Emma leaned against the building's brick wall, her heart racing. What was she doing? This wasn't just about grades anymore. She was treading into dangerous territory, betraying Tyler's trust even if nothing physical had happened. Yet, whispered a voice in her head, "Nothing has happened yet." "I never see you anymore," Tyler complained. They were having a rare dinner together at his apartment, but Emma's mind kept drifting to the paper she was helping Weber revise. "It's just until the symposium," she said, pushing her pasta around her plate. 2 more weeks." Tyler reached across the table for her hand. "I'm proud of you for working so hard, but I miss you. And Mom keeps asking when you're coming over again." Guilt twisted in Emma's stomach. She'd been avoiding Tyler's family dinners, making excuses about research and studying. The truth was, she couldn't bear to sit through another evening of their not-so-subtle hints about Tyler putting a ring on it before graduation. "Soon," she promised. Tyler's face brightened. "Great. Dad's planning a barbecue next Sunday. The whole family will be there. Even Grandma Ruth is coming from Florida." Emma forced a smile. "Sounds fun." Later, as they watched a movie on Tyler's couch, his arm around her shoulders, Emma's phone buzzed. A text from Weber. "Had a breakthrough on the 3rd section. Can you come by the office tomorrow morning to discuss?" "Who's that?" Tyler asked, his voice carefully neutral. "Just Professor Weber," Emma said, trying to sound casual. "Question about the project." Tyler frowned. "On a Friday night? Doesn't he have a life?" Emma felt a flash of defensiveness. "His work is his life. He's passionate about it." "More like obsessed," Tyler muttered. "Lily told me about the rumors." Emma stiffened. "What rumors?" "About him getting too close to his research assistants," Tyler said. "All female, coincidentally." "That's ridiculous," Emma snapped, pulling away from him. "It's a professional relationship." "Is it?" Tyler's voice was quiet. "You light up when you talk about him, Emma. You never look that way when you talk about us anymore." "That's not fair," she protested. But even as she said it, she knew there was truth in his words. Tyler sighed. "Just be careful, okay? I don't trust him." Emma nodded, but inwardly she was seething. Tyler didn't understand. He couldn't. Weber challenged her intellectually in ways Tyler never had. He saw her potential, pushed her to think deeply, to question everything. That night, she dreamed of Professor Weberoff, his hands on her skin, his voice in her ear. She woke up flushed and guilty, Tyler sleeping peacefully beside her. The morning before the symposium, Emma arrived at Weber's office to find him agitated. "The conclusion isn't working," he said without preamble. "I've been up all night trying to fix it." Emma set down her bag. "Let me see." They worked side by side for hours, revising and refining. When they finally crafted a conclusion they both agreed was strong, Weber leaned back in his chair with a sigh of relief. "We did it," he said. "This is good, Emma. Really good." "We make a good team," she replied, feeling a surge of pride. "We do." He reached over and squeezed her hand. It was the first time he'd touched her intentionally, and Emma felt a jolt at the contact. Neither of them pulled away. Instead, Weber's thumb traced small circles on her palm, sending shivers up her arm. "This is a bad idea," he murmured, but he was already leaning toward her. "I know," Emma whispered. The first kiss was tentative, questioning. The second was not. Emma found herself pulled onto his lap, his hands in her hair, at her waist, everywhere. All the tension that had been building between them for weeks erupted into a desperate, hungry embrace. It was Emma who finally pulled away, breathless. "Wait, I can't toddle a row." Weber's eyes darkened. "Do you love him?" "I don't know anymore," she admitted. "But I can't do this until I figure that out. It's not fair to anyone." Weber nodded, though she could see the frustration in the tightness of his jaw. "You're right. I shouldn't have thought this was unprofessional of me." Emma gathered her things, her hands shaking. "I should go." "The symposium is tomorrow," he reminded her. "Will you still come?" She hesitated at the door. "I'll be there." Tyler was waiting at her apartment when she got home, sitting on the steps with a small gift box in his hands. "Tyler," she said, startled. "I thought you had class." He stood, an odd expression on his face. "It was canceled. I thought I'd surprise you." He held out the box. "Early graduation present." Emma took it reluctantly. Inside was a delicate silver necklace with a small diamond pendant. "Tyler, it's beautiful, Buteau." "But you don't want it," he finished for her. His eyes were sad but resigned. "Not from me, anyway." "What are you talking about?" "I saw you, Emma," he said quietly. "At Weber's office. The door was cracked open. I came to surprise you with lunch." Emma felt the blood drain from her face. "Tyler, I can explain." "Oh, don't." He held up a hand. "Just tell me one thing. Is it just about the grade? Is that why you're doing this?" The question hit Emma like a slap. Was that how it had started? Yes. But now? "No," she admitted. "It's not just about the grade. Not anymore." Tyler nodded slowly. "I thought so. I kept telling myself you wouldn't do this to us just for a letter on your transcript. In a weird way, this hurts less so knowing there are actual feelings involved." "I'm so sorry," Emma whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I never meant for any of this to happen." "I know." Tyler's voice was gentle, which somehow made it worse. "But it did happen, and now we have to deal with it." He took the gift box from her hands. "I think you need some time to figure out what you want, Emma. Who you want." As he walked away, Emma called after him. "Tyler, wait." He paused but didn't turn around. "The barbecue's canceled, by the way. I already told my parents we broke up." Emma didn't sleep that night. She sat on her bed, surrounded by notes and books, trying to focus on the symposium, but her mind kept replaying the look on Tyler's face when he'd said, "I saw you." By morning, she felt hollow, her eyes gritty from crying and lack of sleep. She dressed mechanically in her most professional outfit, a charcoal pencil skirt and cream blouse, and made her way to the University Conference Center where the symposium was being held. Weber was at the podium when she slipped into the back row, commanding the room with his resonant voice and incisive analysis. Emma recognized whole passages she had helped craft insights they had developed together during those long evenings in his office. When the applause came, it was enthusiastic. Weber fielded questions with ease, and Emma felt a surge of pride despite everything else. They had created something meaningful together. Something that transcended the mess of their personal entanglement. After the session ended, she waited while colleagues congratulated him, hanging back until the crowd thinned. "You came," he said when he finally spotted her. "I helped write it," she replied. "I wanted to see it presented." They stood awkwardly for a moment, the ease of their previous interactions gone. "Tyler knows," Emma said finally. "He saw us yesterday." Weber's expression tightened. "I see. And?" "And we broke up," she said. "Or he broke up with me." He asked if it was just about the grade. "Was it?" Weber's voice was carefully neutral. Emma met his gaze. "At first, yes, I was desperate, but then things changed." He nodded slowly. "For me too." "So what happens now?" Emma asked. Weber glanced around the emptying conference room. "That depends on what you want, Emma. But we need to be careful. If the university found out, Your career would be at risk, she finished, and my academic reputation. Yes. He ran a hand through his hair. Look, the semester ends in 6 weeks. After you graduate, there would be no ethical conflict. We could owe— Wait, Emma interrupted. What about my grade? Weber blinked. What? My grade in your class, Emma repeated. The whole reason this started. What happens with that? An uncomfortable silence stretched between them. Emma, you've demonstrated mastery of the material through our work together, Weber said carefully. Your grade will reflect that. So I get an A because we kissed? The words came out harsher than she intended. Weber's expression hardened. You get the grade you earn through your work. Our personal relationship is separate. Is it? Emma challenged. Can you honestly say you'd evaluate me the same way if we hadn't gotten close? Weber didn't answer immediately, which was answer enough. Emma felt something inside her Shiftoa clarity cutting through the emotional fog of the past weeks. I need to go. Emma, waito. I'll see you in class, Professor Weber, she said, emphasizing his title. I'll email you my final paper by the deadline. The remaining weeks of the semester passed in a blur. Emma threw herself into her studies, spending long hours in the library rather than her apartment, where Lily's concerned glances and careful questions were too much to bear. She saw Weber only during class, where they maintained a brittle professionalism. Twice he asked her to stay after, but each time she invented an excuse to leave quickly. Her final paper for his class was the best work she'd ever produced, thorough, nuanced analysis that incorporated everything she'd learned from their collaboration while taking their arguments in new directions. She submitted it online rather than handing it to him in person. 3 days before graduation, Emma received an email notification that her final grades were posted. She hesitated before logging in, suddenly afraid of what she might see. When she finally clicked on the link, she stared at the screen for a long moment. Literary theory. A. She had done it. Her GPA was safe, her scholarship secure. But the victory felt hollow. A knock on her door startled her. When she opened it, Tyler stood there, hands in his pockets. Tyler, she said, surprised. What are you— I needed to know if you're okay, he said simply. Lily said you've been practically living in the library. Emma stepped back, inviting him in without words. They sat on opposite ends of her small couch. I got an A in Weber's class, she said, breaking the silence. Tyler nodded. Did you earn it? The question, same one she'd been asking, herself brought unexpected tears to her eyes. Yes, no, I don't know. The work was good, but would it have been evaluated the same way if you hadn't crossed that line? Tyler finished. Yes. Tyler was quiet for a moment. What happens now? With him, I mean. Emma wiped her eyes. Nothing. I ended it, if there was even an it to end. I couldn't tell what was real and what was something else. And us? Tyler asked, his voice careful. Emma looked at Amarieli, looked at him for the first time in weeks. The kind eyes, the steady presence that had been her anchor for so long. I don't know, she admitted. I betrayed your trust. I don't have the right to ask for another chance. No, you don't, Tyler agreed, but I'm here anyway. Graduation day dawned clear and bright. Emma stood in her cap and gown, searching the crowd for familiar faces. Her parents were there, standing awkwardly on opposite sides of the aisle. Lily waved enthusiastically from her seat among the other English majors. And there was Tyler, sitting with his family, who had insisted on coming despite everything. They had been talking again, carefully rebuilding what had been broken, though Emma knew it would never be the same. As she crossed the stage to receive her diploma, Emma caught Professor Weber's eye. He was seated with the other faculty, his expression unreadable as he watched her accept the leather folder and shake the dean's hand. Later, at the English department reception, Weber approached her as she stood with her parents. Congratulations, Ms. Reeves, he said formally. Your work this semester was exceptional. Thank you, Professor, she replied, equally formal. Her mother beamed, oblivious to the undercurrents. Emma tells us she learned so much in your class. Weber's smile didn't quite reach his eyes. She was an outstanding student. He handed Emma a business card. "I've written a recommendation for your graduate school applications. If you need anything else, my contact information is there." After he walked away, Emma's father raised an eyebrow. "Seems like an intense guy." "He is," Emma agreed, slipping the card into her pocket. She knew she would never use it. Across the room, she caught Tyler's eye. He gave her a small, cautious smile. They had agreed to take things slowly, to see if what they had could be salvaged, or if it was time to move in different directions. Emma wasn't sure what would happen next with Tyler, with graduate school, with any of it. But for the first time in months, the uncertainty didn't terrify her. She had made mistakes. She had hurt people she cared about. She had compromised her principles for the wrong reasons.